the world can you RV without RV parks? That's what today is about. This is take 2, 3. I don't know what take this is. This is a lot of takes. Welcome back to No Ordinary Path. I'm Kristen. I am a travel nurse spouse. My husband is the travel nurse. We have 3 kids and a dog, and we live in an RV and travel the country now for almost 2 years, coming up in June. Today we're going to bring you a Real Talk Tuesday where we just kind of like chat about our life and things that are important to us and maybe could be beneficial for you. And so we're going to talk about why we don't like RV parks, what's wrong with RV parks anyways, and how we stay in our RV without RV parks. Funny story, John and I were filming this together, and I got home and I had 20 minutes of footage with absolutely 0 sound. We thought that the battery died. I don't know if that was the case or not, but nevertheless, you get me today. Let me preface this by saying that this is our preferred way of traveling. Everybody has their own way of RVing, and that is the beauty of it, is that you all get to do your own thing. This is our thing. If you like our thing and you are interested in how we do it, then this video is for you. As you saw in our last episode, we traveled all the way from Arizona to North Carolina without staying in an RV park at all, and also without lot docking. We did lot dock the very first night, but the rest of the time we found dispersed camping sites, and it was all across the South. So if you think that you can only find dispersed camping in the West, we are going to show you in this contract that that's not always the case. Hopefully. Hopefully. Let's start with the basics. What do we have against RV parks? What have they ever done to us? Well, there's several things that we don't like about RV parks. Now, RV parks are nice for the hookups. That is the main benefit of an RV park for us. What we don't like is the fact that we always feel like we're really crowded. We left suburbia so that we could escape that lifestyle and live out in nature and explore, not so that we could be right next to other rigs and feel like we're in an RV suburbia. So that's one thing, is the space, and then with that comes privacy. There's not a lot of privacy. The walls of the RV are very thin, and our kids are loud, and so it just feels like we are constantly being watched. And so that leads me to the next thing, which is judgment, which is probably a lot in my head. There are probably not as many people as I think that are judging how we act and how we live. But there are always those thoughts that go through your head where you feel like people are watching your every move, how you parent and how you RV, and it just feels like there's some prying eyes, and I really don't like that feeling about RV parks. It gives me so much anxiety, way more anxiety than boondocking does. If you get in an argument with your kids or your spouse or something, and I'm not saying that we do this all the time, but come on, it's real life, then your neighbors can hear you. And sometimes your neighbors might overhear a part of your conversation that means, I always worry that people are going to hear some part of my conversation that is taken out of context, and I always have that fear in the back of my head. And so the judgment feeling of an RV park is something that I do not care for. But then there's also things like cost. Now this isn't a huge one because there are costs involved in boondocking, especially with getting started in boondocking, but a lot of times you can save money, because if you want to get into a really nice RV park with a lot of amenities, you are going to pay for it. And we don't want to pay for it, frankly. And especially when we're just moving like one night at a time. Feels just not good to spend like $50 to stay one night just to sleep and then move on the next day. So that's when we're traveling, we avoid RV parks altogether. The dog and the kids, that's another reason. Cinder loves to explore. She loves to lay in the sun. Now, she is fine on a leash. She can handle the leash, but she doesn't like it. We've been pursuing a life of freedom on the road, and it feels like there's not a lot of freedom inside RV parks. You still have to, you can't be a free-range parent and be in an RV park. Even if you can see your kids on the playground, RV parks are not okay with you just letting your kids play on the playground. We like open spaces where we can roam and explore and give our kids the walkies and some freedom to go explore and take the dog with them. We like the campy feel. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like the camping feel. Now, the camping feel as in out in nature. Okay, we like our water and electric and our sewer. Okay, boondocking, you have to deal with all that stuff on your own. So we're not here to say that you should never, ever, ever stay without, someplace with hookups if you are an outdoorsy person. That's not what I'm saying. Those are just a few of the reasons why we don't really love RV parks. So how do we get around that? Well, we largely look for dispersed camping. We are a huge boondocking family. We have found that we love to boondock for all the reasons we don't like RVs. The flip side are the reasons that we love to boondock. Now there comes with that responsibilities of taking care of our own waste management and water and electricity. But we've done all of this without solar. So it can be done, and we want to encourage people that even if you don't have a big solar package or good batteries, you could still make it work as long as you have a generator. We have used the crud out of our generator and we love it. We highly recommend it. Now, what about contracts? It's easy to boondock in between contracts when we're just traveling, but what about during our contracts? Well, that is a little bit more tricky. During the winter months, we really need an RV park. Unfortunately, there's just no way around it. So in Columbia, Missouri, we stayed in an RV park. In Reno, Nevada, during the cold months, we stayed in an RV park. But every other time, we look for dispersed camping. I have started a boondocking guide. I'm working on keeping it up to date. I work on it when I have time, so it's not fully up to date, but the idea is that it will have all the places that we've ever stayed, a review, a picture, information where you can get water and dump that's nearby, and all of that is on our website at unordinarypath.com, and you can check that out right down here in the description. And I will be updating that, so hopefully all of these places that we've just stayed at will be on there really soon for you. It might surprise you that we actually don't plan, or it might not surprise you, who knows? In the beginning, we tried to plan ahead, and it was just really frustrating. A lot of dispersed camping areas are first come, first serve. So we actually don't plan in advance. We usually plan it the night before when we're staying at the previous site. So when we were in the county park in Texas, we were looking ahead to see where in Louisiana that we were going to shoot for. And if we got there and it was full, then we would just keep moving until we either found another dispersed camping site or we ended up lot docking. And that has really been great for us when we were on the move. Now, sometimes it doesn't always work out well. Like in Ashland, Oregon, there was a city ordinance against parking in lot docking, and the dispersed camping was too hard for us to get to with Wendy, so we ended up staying in an RV park. We have made one other video in the past. If you want to check that out, check it out up here. It's the exact process that we do to find dispersed camping, whether we are traveling from one spot to another or we're in a contract where we're kind of in that same area for 3 months. So it's a really great resource if you're interested in that. Don't miss it. We're looking for a place long term to stay. We have now done this twice at a contract where we have stayed with a family on their private property. And really, this is the way that we probably will continue to go, because we really enjoy staying on private property and getting to know people and just seeing how they live in different parts of the country. In Washington, we stayed in a private, a family had 6 hookups on their property, and they were a lineman family. So the spots were really word of mouth for other lineman families, and I heard about it through Facebook and reached out, and they were like, sure, we'd love to have you come and stay with us. So it was really a great opportunity for us, and we paid them, so we were able to bless them monetarily. They blessed us because it was a lot less money than it was in an RV park, and it was much more private. And then here in North Carolina, we have landed at a spot with a family on their homestead, and it has been fantastic so far. We really enjoyed it. People have asked us, how do you go about finding a place like this homestead that we're staying on, or like in Washington? And the answer is with a lot of search online. I searched Craigslist listings. I've reached out to lots of people on Craigslist. Actually, these 2 families that we've stayed with so far have both come from Facebook. And what I like to do is when we are going to an area, I like to get on local Facebook groups and join them, just so that I have tips from other parents on where to take my kids and things to do in the area. And then I can also ask them, hey, we're looking for a place to stay. Does anybody know, like word of mouth, something that might work out for us? And I introduce our family, and so that's how I have found the last 2 places, and both have worked out. I know this might make some people nervous because honestly, you're total strangers, and you know, that thought goes through our head too, but we also try to vet out like where we're going to stay, who we're staying with. We actually make phone calls, you know, like the olden days where you get on the phone and you actually talk to somebody. We talk and we talk about what our family is like, what our needs are, what their needs are, what their family is like, and try to figure out if we will blend when we get there, so that when we get there that there aren't any like huge surprises. Hope that this has been eye-opening for you guys. This is just the way that we RV, the way that we like to RV. We just try to avoid RV parks whenever possible, and so far so good. And one day when we have land, our goal is to be able to have a spot on our land that we can invite others to come and stay with us and bless other people as well. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to subscribe. Check out our episode next week because we are celebrating 100 episodes. All right, I gotta go. I'm being beckoned. All right.